Well, Mr. Goenka, as we get into the end of any calendar year, the big question is what is the recovery in the United States? And you get some sound bites coming in from Costco as well as from Walmart. They are indicating that things are on the mend and demand is strong. The US market is very important for you. I think out of every 4 towels that are sold, 1 comes in from Welspun, and every 7 bed sheets that are sold, 1 comes in from Welspun. So you'll have a proper sense about demand out there. Are you seeing signs of demand recovery?
Well, US is very important market, as you said, very, very important for us. And it's the largest market in the world for the home, for anything that matters. I think, and when we see the current demand, I think you can see around here, we are fully running 100% at 100% capacity. So the US market is looking good in times to come.
All right, so it's good news then that the US demand is strong. Also, everyone's been talking about the China plus one. And Bangladesh as well has got into a lot of political instability of the recent past. How big an opportunity it is. We'll come back to the B2C business here in India. But as of now on the global stage, India has a big role to play.
So India is already playing a big role, particularly when we talk of home textiles.
Right.
I think we are already a major market share. When we talk about US, it's 50% market share. In US is from India.
Yeah.
Out of that, we are 25% market share. So China plus one story is definitely there. But when you talk about the home textile, I think we have a much better and a stronger presence as a country, as a company.
Let's talk about the B2C part of the business. You briefly spoke about it at the start of this interview. Could you tell us how big can that business grow? The industry is growing at a sharp clip. So for Welspun Living, how big can the B2C domestic part of the business become?
So as you know, Indian market, particularly when we talk about home market, is growing at a rate of more than 15%.
Yeah.
And post GST, when we see the whole consolidation happening, everybody's aligned, I think we are seeing a huge advantage for a company like us.
Yeah.
And I can say today, we are growing at a rate of more than 20% per annum in the domestic market. And we have a clear-cut target to become, like you said, every 4 towels sold is sold by Welspun. Same way, 25% of the market share in India. In next 3 years, we are trying to capture it.
So what would that mean in terms of a revenue number for the B2C part of the business?
So currently, we have around 600 crores of domestic market under the brand of Spaces as well as Welspun.
Yeah.
And I think that is growing at a rate of 20% CAGR. So in a 3 years' time, it will become double. And I think in the 5 years' time, it will become 6 times from here.
All right, 6 times from here. So it'll be more than a 3,000 crore business in 5 years from now. The other smaller part that is housed under Welspun Living itself is the flooring business. Now that's going at a run rate of around 800 to around 1,000 crores on an annual basis. How do you see that business shaping up? Because there is a big push as well for the flooring segment.
So it's a new product for the market. Initially, we had some struggling. I think it's settling down.
Okay.
And we are seeing a good potential in times to come. We are growing at a rate of 10 to 12% there.
Yeah.
As you said rightly, we are doing around 1,000 crores. But mostly it is coming out of the export. And domestic market, we are still at a very small, overall small percentage of the whole revenue. But I think in time to come, that will grow.
Any numbers you want to give us?
Currently is only 15% domestically, 15 to 20%. That can go to 40% overall in time to come with the overall export and domestic mix.
Welspun Living at a capacity utilization level, what are you functioning at? And when is the next stage of capacity addition that you're going to announce?
So we are running around 85% plus right now. Overall home textile as a group.
Yeah.
And we already announced about the expansion of towels. We are adding the new range of towels for the beach, for the kitchen, the whole range.
Yeah.
Where we are going to invest around 400 crores in going to be commissioned by early next year. That will be adding another capacity by 15%.
Okay, all right. And also, another quick question is the promoter entity, they went and sold a small block in the recent past. I think the holding was a little over 70%. It came down a little bit. Any further plans to divest some stake? And what was the reason that you sold that?
Primarily, as you know, we are holding 70% plus. And it is also part of the liquidity to create the right kind of liquidity in the market. And whatever the need for our own expansion plan in our different areas, I think that was a need. And we already said that next year or so, we are not going to further divest in our stake.
Let's talk about Welspun Enterprises, Mr. Goenka. There's a big opportunity out there. And you are present in two key spaces, that's the transportation and the water EPC. Could you tell us what is the total market addressable size and how much do you all want to grab?
Well, it's a huge opportunity, and today when we talk about growth of GDP around 7 to 8%, if India is going to grow at that rate, I think in that infra is going to play a major role. And when we talk of infra, within infra, the water is a major issue. And what already the government of India has announced that every village, every household in the country has to have a tap water, Nal Se Jal. So there's a huge opportunity there. There's an opportunity of waste treatment plant. There's an opportunity of transportation of potable water across cities. So this is an area where I think we are focusing in a great bit, and we are looking forward for a reasonable market share in a how we can bring India on the water story when water story is being talked on, particularly on the technological side.
Right. So 3 trillion, I think each is the opportunity, rupees 3 trillion. Is that a rough estimate we should work with?
The cake size is big enough for everybody to play. I think each player of us has to see that what you want to do it. I mean, the business is not an issue. Issue is that within that business, what you want to do and can create maximum value out of it.
And you all have also chosen the inorganic route. So tell us a little bit about that.
So we acquired recently a company called Michigan, again from the angle of water. They are specializing into microtunneling, and which is the requirement for the large cities, existing upgrading of the existing sewage pipeline, and other networking of the pipeline. So we are focusing primarily on a very specialized part of it through that acquisition, and we are quite bullish about it.
Well, Mr. Goenka, we have touched on the growth aspect, governance, and the third factor you mentioned was green. You all as a group have taken various initiatives on the green side of things. Tell us as a group level, what's the motto and what are the steps that you all have taken?
So when I said 3G, growth, governance, and green, green means the sustainability. Whatever we are doing for our own planet, how we can be part of tomorrow's, what we can do better for tomorrow. And accordingly, for each and every activity what we are in at a group level, when you talk about Welspun Living, I mean, by next year, we will be almost 70% of our power coming from green. By 2027, it will be 100% green. Our recycling of water, the water intake, the fresh water intake is zero. Mm-hmm. And what you see here is another example of water, that how we are already using rain harvesting, with the solar panels. So if you see the overall, there is a complete clear-cut roadmap in case of Welspun Living, that by 2030, that how we can do the recycling of fiber, how we will be 100% renewable energy, no, let's say carbon footprint whatsoever. We'll be zero carbon footprint across all in our product manufacturing. When we talk about Welspun Corp, yes, there is definitely a steel involved, carbon is involved, but we have a roadmap for going up to 40% of renewable, and wherever we can reduce, we have a complete roadmap so that we become one of the top companies within the steel industry, within the plastic industry, within our existing activity, whatever we are in, that we can be number one on the top of the index when we talk about recycling or green power.
All right, Mr. Goenka, you have got a vision for the Welspun Group. India is on its way as well to a $10 trillion economy. What would your message be for every Indian out there?
I think today, being Indian, we are all lucky to be in this space. I think India is give us a lot of opportunity, and each one of us, if we don't grab this opportunity, we will be missing out the bus. I think looking to that, we have created a new motto. We have been looking towards the export market, towards the global markets, but I think next 5 years to 10 years, we see the growth of India is going to be 7 to 8%, and in that growth, as Welspun World, as Welspun Group, we want to participate, and we have created a new logo, new motto called Har Ghar Se Har Dil Tak Welspun, that how we can touch 1.4 billion people's heart with our various product offering, what we are doing at a group level.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Goenka. Wishing you all the best. Thanks a lot for speaking to us here on CNBC-TV18.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.